Here we go. Happy Thursday. You're watching the San Francisco 49ers Report live here on Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. We're getting set for the weekend. We're getting set for a fantastic show, the best Niners talk that you will find here on YouTube, and we're so glad that you chose us. As for what we're getting into on today's show, San Francisco actually just worked out cornerback Jason Verrett. Could they bring in a familiar face to fortify some of the depth in that secondary? San Francisco yesterday signed a defensive lineman. We're going to talk about that player. We'll take a look at the Niners playoff picture. What does San Francisco have to do in order to get into the big dance? We'll take a look at some of their playoff chances and odds as well, some free agency buzz, and of course, as we always do, we want to interact from the faithful. We want to hear from you. Use hashtag 49ers or send in a super chat so that we can take your questions, your comments, and your hot takes. Our super chat menu for our Thirsty Thursday show. All super chats get a shout out as always. $10, a Niner mug cheers. $20, Trace will put on the Toby Willis helmet. $50 for a beer bong or a shotgun, and $100 gets you inducted into the Gold Mine Hall of Fame. With that, 140 people watching live. If we want more people to come in here, make sure you hit that thumbs up icon and you like the video. But let's ask you this question. Big game coming up on Sunday against the Bucs. Who you got? SF for the Niners, TB for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's hear where the audience is. West Coast, San Francisco, Wet Noodle, Niners. Ernesto, Niners. Kalen, Super Chat, OG MVP. What's up, Chase? What's up, Kalen? California Man, Niners. Eric Wallace, hello, afternoon all. What's good, Chase? From Matthew Vega. Niner Babe is back. David Marcella going with the Bucs. He's our heel here on the Niners Report. Andy Lewis, San Francisco. Brother Man, San Francisco. Dan Paul, go Niners. SF, bang, bang. And Timothy Leach, SF as well. Make sure you get signed up with Prize Picks. $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS. And use the code CLNS for that deal to apply. This is the largest independently run daily fantasy sports app in North America. You pick 2+ players. You choose more or less on their projected stat lines. And it makes game day a lot more fun, and you have the opportunity to win real money. The picks that I'm liking right now, Nick Bosa more than 0.75 sacks. Jake Moody more than a field goal and a half made. And then Nelson Agholor, Thursday Night Football, more than 7.5 receiving yards. You get the idea. All of that information is available for you in the comment section and in the description of this video. And Spunky Guy is saying, I can't gamble where I live. This is not gambling. This is daily fantasy sports. So download the app for free, and you can see if you can actually use this app, because I'm able to do this in Texas where gambling is not legal and it is not gambling. We also want to hear from you all throughout the show. So please get involved. Don't be scared. Get involved. Hashtag 49ers or send in a super chat to get featured here on the show. And if you're ready to start the program here, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. Let's go San Francisco. Like the video here. A lot to get to. 3 segments on the docket. Producer Trizzy Trace riding shotgun here with me. And Spunky Guy said, I'm in then. Yeah, use that link that we just threw in to the comment section there, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Can we get to 100 likes before we start the show? 170 people are watching live. That means that a percentage of people have not liked the video. Rapid fire right now. How many people can we get to like the show? We're up to 186 people hanging out here with us. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Can we get to 100 likes? Continue to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. Any thoughts on Jason Verrett from Matthew Vega? We're about to start talking about him here in just a second. Matt Keller, yo, Chase, I'm here. What up, my brother? Doc Johnson, to be a Niner fan, you can never be scared. That's what I'm saying. And Rick Nyers changing the profile picture. What's up, Chase, as well as the Niner gang. If any of you want to get in super chats, we will answer those after this segment. like I said, we're down to have some fun. 50 for a shotgun or a beer bong. Rad Rick, I like that. $20, Trizzy Trace will have to produce in the Toby Willis helmet. A whole lot of stuff that we can do. We're up to 200 people watching live. Continue to like the video. We're shooting for 100 likes right now, so continue to pepper that thumbs up icon and like the show. And with that, let's officially begin. 3 segments coming up. Best Niners talk that you'll find today. Another loaded show coming your way on today's San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. No matter where you are, how you're tuned in, as always, we appreciate you for making today's show a part of your day. And on the docket, San Francisco signing a defensive lineman, and a 49ers reserve offensive lineman is out for the year. We'll get to that, but first, we start with Jason Verrett. Is he going to come back to the San Francisco 49ers? He worked out with San Francisco on this Thursday at the practice facility in Santa Clara. He was recently let go by the Houston Texans practice squad, and I do think that that's notable. D'Amico Ryans is there. He brought a couple of Niners assistants with him to H-Town. They're having a great year. C.J. Stroud is in the MVP conversation, and I imagine that the Niners front office brass has spoken with that coaching staff or that front office to kind of gauge where Jason Verrett is. 32 years old right now. It's pretty wild. He was drafted all the way back in 2014. First-round pick by the Chargers coming out of TCU. Really good player when he's been able to stay healthy. Unfortunately for him, he's been snake-bitten time and time again with a lot of injuries. And with the Niners, they signed him as kind of a reclamation project, buy low, get a good asset who could play well. And in 2019, didn't play at all. He's once again injured. In 2020, played at a really, really high level. We're talking Pro Bowl caliber level, and 13 games under his belt in 2020. But then tore his ACL in 2021, first game of the year on the road against the Detroit Lions. And then last year, coming off that torn ACL, he popped his Achilles. So at this point, he thinks that he has some gas left in the tank. The Niners think that potentially as well, bringing him in for a workout. We know that the secondary is a little bit thin, and they probably want to gauge if he's able to help this team coming down this stretch run in the regular season. Now, this is why you subscribe to the show. Anytime there's something developing out there, like a potential signing like this, we talk about it. But also, we'll be live for our Niners-Buccaneers watch party on Sunday. Do not miss it. We're giving away another autographed jersey, raffle items to get to, live play-by-play audience interaction, and the best place to experience game day outside of being at the game. We'll be live within our pregame show with our coverage beginning at 3:05 p.m. Eastern. As for that offensive lineman out for the year, that is going to be Nick Zakelj. Suffered a torn biceps last Sunday against the Jaguars. He played 6 special team snaps in that game, and he had to undergo season-ending surgery. Right now, especially along the interior of this Niners offensive line, they have been hit hard with injuries. Zakelj as a backup, Aaron Banks out a couple of games with that turf toe injury, and the Niners really like the player. This is why Zakelj did crack that 53-man roster. They took him in the 6th round of the 2022 NFL Draft out of Fordham. And he's a offensive lineman with some upside in their eyes, with some really solid measurables, 6'6", about 387 pounds. And of note, with him going down and being out for the rest of the year, by the way, not a $187, I'm 180 pounds. I'd be a mean offensive lineman at like the middle school level, right? Obviously, that's a little bit too small, so don't mind the note. Of note, though, San Francisco has a roster spot open here. So they could look to fulfill that roster spot with Zakelj being out for the year, season-ending IR. A couple of replacements that the Niners could bring in along the interior offensive line, and they could look to elevate from the practice squad to the active roster. Il Manning is a player who the Niners got back after the Arizona Cardinals released him off their active roster originally. Arizona poached Il Manning off the Niners practice squad. The rookie out of Hawaii had a very good training camp in preseason with the Niners. Corey Luciano, you could elevate him. You could bring in a guy like Jesse Davis, Henry Bird, and elevate them to the 53-man roster. More offensive line notes here. No setbacks for Trent Williams in that game against Jacksonville, but also this week. Looks as though he's going to be able to start for the second consecutive game coming off that ankle injury, which forced him to miss the Vikings and Bengals games going into the bye week. Colton McKivitz practiced on back-to-back days on Wednesday and Thursday. He's trending upward and looks as though he's going to be able to start at right tackle on Sunday. Aaron Banks remains out, and in his place, John Feliciano will start again. The highest grade for an offensive guard this year, Feliciano is able to put up in that dub against the Jags. And offensive line continues to be a concern for this football club. According to Pro Football Focus's offensive line rankings, there are 32 teams in the NFL. San Francisco, their overall unit, checking in at 24th, and the Niners rank 19th in pass blocking efficiency. I think that could be something that unglues this offense if they make a playoff run going up against some of the top-tier defenses in this conference, or if they make it to the Super Bowl and you kind of hold your breath anytime that Brock Purdy drops back because you're pinpointing and focusing in with the microscope as to what happens at right guard and right tackle because they've been so bad and unproductive at those positions this year. So what say you? Will the Niners' offensive line end up costing this team this year? Biggest weakness on the club, no doubt. Even more so than the secondary. Y for yes or N for no? That is today's poll question. So make sure you go on down and let us know how you're feeling. A lot more to get to here on the show, including Spencer Waege coming back to San Francisco. But first, today's Niners Report is sponsored by Marine Layer. You've seen me wear some of their fancy shirts before. That's San Francisco-based Marine Layer as well. Now I'm wearing some of their athletic wear. Very comfortable, very durable, looks good. The ladies tell me that my eyes look really good when I'm rocking some baby blue. That's why I like to wear this shirt here. And you can get 15% off at marinelayer.com/chatsports and use the code chatsports. They have clothing items for you to wear out to a date. If you're hitting some bars with some homies, you've seen me wear this fancy sweater type of shirt here on the show, but they also have that relaxed wear, golf shirts, some golf shorts as well, some athletic shorts. They have everything to really spark up your wardrobe. So head to marinelayer.com/chatsports. Find your new favorite fits with the San Francisco-based Marine Layer today. Next up on the show, Niners signing a defensive lineman. Spencer Waege is back, and the Niners releasing Austin Bryant. Spencer Wage's agency did announce this news on Wednesday. Didn't get an opportunity to break it down because I was doing some NBA coverage here at Chat Sports, but it is worthy of some discussion here on the show, and I like to talk about the Niners. I get paid to do so, so we're going to talk about this here on the program. Why did the Niners make this move? Well, you think about it from this sense. A few weeks ago, they traded for Randy Gregory. He's a defensive end. Then they traded for Chase Young. He too, defensive end edge rusher. So I think San Francisco here wanted to bulk up the interior defensive line, and they're able to do that with a young player that they believe in who has some potential and familiarity with this Niners defensive scheme. And Larry Krueger, who I've been joining every Friday on his YouTube channel, by the way, did an interview with Waege in the Niners locker room in Santa Clara and said that Waege told him he'd been working out at the farm, waiting for a call after the Niners released him in August when he did not make the final 53-man roster. He wasn't sure if that call was going to come in a day, a week, a month, a couple of months. San Francisco hits him up middle of November. They bring him back. Pretty cool story there. Can you imagine going from working on the farm to then joining the Niners practice squad with maybe an opportunity here to join the active roster at some point? Waege signed with San Francisco originally as a UDFA out of North Dakota State, a football powerhouse at the FCS level, waived by the Niners on August 27th of 2023, but had a very solid training camp and preseason. I like his size. Might need to add a little bit of weight playing defensive tackle at this level. He is 6'5", though, 295 pounds. Spent 5 years at the college level, 2017 to 2022. A lot of experience, too, playing for the Bison, 57 games, 29 starts. In those 57 games, he racked up 138 tackles, 42 tackles for loss, 20.5 sacks. I also like his ability to bat balls down at the line of scrimmage. Has some good instincts there, and with all of these digits that he put up playing at that level, he was a 2-time FCS All-American. So a developmental project making his way back to the Bay Area. Niners release Austin Bryant. They bring back Spencer Waege because they want to bulk up defensive tackle as far as developmental projects, but also overall depth on this team. And I think there's something to be said for this, too, as we round out this discussion. Everybody looks and differentiates the 53-man roster and the practice squad. This is how organizations look at it. They look at it as one big roster here. You have the 53 and you have the practice squad, but the practice squad is practicing with the 53-man roster. So this is a collective football club, and now Spencer Waege is a part of it. Another reminder, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Last week, we did surpass 100,000 subscribers, and we're going to continue to build on that during our Niners Buccaneers watch party live an hour before kickoff, 3:05 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you. Oh! Sean! A $100 super chat, and he becomes a member of the Gold Mine Hall of Fame. $100 donation. And it's his first ever super chat, so he is a first-time super chatter. I love your honest analysis. I have concerns about the offensive line. People say the Niners are back. I'm not sure. I think they just caught the Jaguars off guard. Your thoughts on the next 4 games? Next 4 games are going to be difficult. The Thanksgiving evening matchup against the Seattle Seahawks is going to be a tall test. Honestly, playing Seattle 2 times in 3 weeks is kind of a joke as far as the scheduling matters with the NFL. But you look at the next 4 games, should get a win here. You should win 1 or 2 of those matchups against Seattle. Eagles game is going to be tough, but that's a matchup between 2 of the top teams in the NFC. So San Francisco could win all 4. They could go 3-1. They could go 2-2. If they play like they did during that 3-game losing streak, they could be in trouble there. So it's going to be up to the Niners to decide it. I mean, they have the potential to still win a Super Bowl and be one of the best teams in the NFL. Sean, I actually think that how they played against the Jags was how they played during that 5-game winning streak. And that team that we've seen this year has so much potential to be very, very special. Charles McElroy said, the clickbait king. Well, I'm looking at this title here, and it says 49ers report live. 49ers make roster moves, plus San Francisco 49ers playoff picture, Niners news. I'm not sure what is clickbait about that. And I think that's just a problem that you have for yourself. And if you don't like our content, the solution is very simple. Just don't watch. There are plenty of other options out there and some great content creators that you can go to. Because we got that $100 super chat.
Let's go!
Trizzy is rocking the Toby Willis helmet here. All super chats get a shout out. $10 Niner mug cheers. Trace wears the Toby Willis helmet for a 20. 50 for a beer bong or a shotgun. 100 for a Gold Mine Hall of Fame. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a beer bong with the Toby Willis helmet on. I will do that after our next segment. So stay tuned for that. Val Brooks said, pretty blue eyes, Chase. Val Brooks, how sweet of you. I really appreciate that.
Pretty blue eyes. Pretty blue eyes.
Val Brooks. Val Brooks. Val Brooks.
What's
pretty
up,
blue
Joseph?
eyes, pretty lady Val.
What's up, Joseph? How you doing, buddy?
So make sure you get your questions in. We will do a little bit of a mailbag later. Hashtag 49ers. Better yet, send in a super chat like our homie just did right there. Sean, a new member of the Gold Mine Hall of Fame. Chase, help me with my prize picks for Bengals Ravens. I did go Nelson Aguilar, more than 7.5 receiving yards. I think that's pretty easy. Now, Baltimore doesn't air it out a ton, but he is averaging 12.5 yards per catch. So if he catches one ball, he might get over that number. Again, hashtag 49ers or send in a super chat to get on the show. Tom Daly said, Trizzy, good to see you. We missed Trizzy.
It's great to see you too, Tom. I've been stuck. Get this. Stuck on the Seahawks channel. I've been rescued finally.
Can you imagine being stuck on a Seahawks channel after being the Niners producer?
Dude, I mean, it's like transitioning from something that's really great to shit. It's like going from from first to worst. It's just, I hate it.
David Marcellus said F Trizzy.
As always. It's always F Trizzy. It's always F Trizzy.
Cheers to everybody for watching. We got a new Niner mug here thanks to Kalen buying the other one from our grasp. So cheers to everybody. It's a Thirsty Thursday here on the show.
Cheers, lads.
All right, coming up next, I want to look ahead at some Niners free agency targets. One player is already on this roster. The other player is not, but fulfills a massive need on this football team. So we're going to get into that next. Eagle, Chase, who do you think is the best running back in the NFL? Christian McCaffrey. Al said, love the cup. I like it a lot, too. Sean, we will do that beer bong for you coming up here in just a bit. But first, on to segment number 2, Niners Country, let's mine. Coming up on today's San Francisco 49ers Report, I want to look ahead at some Niners free agency targets. And we're going to look ahead to 2024 to do something a little bit different and creative on today's show. One free agent target is already on this Niners team. The other fulfills a massive need on this club that continues to be a huge problem on this Niners offense. So without further ado, we're doing this show because ESPN put together a list of the top 25 free agents. And one of my jobs here on the show is to entertain and inform. So here, I'm informing you on today's show because this list is going to matter once we shift gears to the offseason. And a lot of notable players on this list if you're just a casual NFL fan, but of course, you can make those connections for which players make sense as free agent targets for this ball club. Number one free agent, according to ESPN, defensive end Brian Burns of the Carolina Panthers, who the Niners did check in on going into the NFL trade deadline. At number 2, Chris Jones restructured his contract with Kansas City this year, best defensive tackle in the game. Kirk Cousins going to be coming off a torn Achilles. We'll see what his market is. I imagine it's going to be vast because teams are always looking for a quarterback. At number 4, Christian Wilkins of the Miami Dolphins, a fantastic defensive tackle. At number 5, Danielle Hunter, very good edge rusher who's been one of the best defensive ends in football with the Minnesota Vikings. At number 6, T. Higgins, wide receiver with the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not sure if the Bengals are going to be able to afford him because they're cheap, but also other teams might try to pay him as a number 1, and we know Jamar Chase is their number 1. At number 7, could the Niners be interested in a cornerback? They got Charvarius Mooney-Ward from Kansas City a couple of off seasons ago. Now L'Jarius Sneed set to hit the open market. A Niner checking in at number 8, Chase Young, defensive end. He continues to play well and he stays healthy. He could get a bag. Josh Allen, Jaguars defensive end at number 9, and then Robert Hunt, offensive guard with the Miami Dolphins. Offensive line, we know, a concern for this team. Is Robert Hunt the player that we're going to talk about? Stay tuned to find out. 11 through 20 here. Safety Antoine Winfield, really like the player with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll get an opportunity to see the Buccaneers in action on Sunday. Quarterback Jalen Johnson, who according to reports, the Niners checked in on as well. Justin Matabuke, the defensive tackle, checking in at number 13. Mike Evans, star-studded wide receiver at number 14. Jonah Williams, offensive tackle for the Bengals. He's completely overrated in my opinion because he hasn't been that good. And then rounding out 16 through 20, Saquon Barkley, running back. Kendall Fuller, another cornerback. Jonah Jackson, an offensive guard. Calvin Ridley, wide receiver at 19. And Devin White at number 20. Last 5 players, according to ESPN, on the top 25 free agent list. Dalton Schultz, tight end. Josh Jacobs, running back. Michael Pittman Jr., wide receiver. Kyle Duggar, safety. Talked a little bit about him because he was rumored to be on the trade market going into the deadline as well. And then Baker Mayfield at quarterback. Is he going to stay with the Bucs? What he could do this week against San Francisco could go a long way in determining his fate. With that, we pop up this question. Which free agent or free agents Do you want the Niners to sign? Drop me a name or names down below in the comments section and get active down there. Before we continue to move forward with today's show and look at some targets for San Francisco that ESPN linked to this team, make sure you sign up with Prize Picks. $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS. This is Daily Fantasy Sports Made Easy. And the picks that I like this week, what's cool is that you can choose more or less on these picks. So I'm going to allow you on today's show to make your selections for this week. Do you like Nick Bosa more or less? 0.75 sacks. I like more, working off of what he did against Jacksonville. Jake Moody, more or less, 1.5 field goals made. I like more because I think that the Niners are going to be able to move the football and put up a lot of points, and Jake Moody will have opportunities there. And then Thursday Night Football, Nelson Aguilar, more or less, 7.5 receiving yards. I like more. Hasn't been targeted all that much. Little more than 200 receiving yards this year, but an average yards per catch of 7.5. All he has to do is catch one football. Daily Fantasy Sports Made Easy. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that code CLNS for a $100 deposit match. The number 8 free agent on that list, of course, Chase Young, formerly of the Washington Commanders, currently with the San Francisco 49ers. A salary this year of $5.3 million. The Niners are paying him about $500,000 the rest of the way. Pretty good deal right there, especially when they gave up a third-round compensatory pick, and they're going to get back most likely a third-round compensatory pick. His age entering the 2024 season, he will be 25 years old, right in the midst of his prime. The Commanders did not exercise his fifth-year option, so he's in year 4 right now, set to hit free agency, and that's why he's on an expiring contract. Here's what ESPN had to say on why Young could get paid big-time dollars by either the Niners or another team across the NFL. The start to Young's pro career has been disrupted by injuries, as he has played in only 35 games since going number 2 overall in 2020. But with his high-end physical tools, Young has flashed on the tape, and he's just entering the prime playing years. A strong second half to the season in San Francisco would boost Young's value in free agency. He has 5.5 sacks. His 24.1 pass rush win rate ranks 8th in the NFL. He is also up there in quarterback pressures. And during his Niners debut against Jacksonville, we saw his impact right away against the Jags. He pops when you watch him because of how big, quick, physical, and fast he is. He's good against the pass. He's good against the run. And if he stays healthy, he is a top-tier edge rusher and could get paid a lot of money because a lot of teams are looking to fulfill that position on their roster. Here's what ESPN is hearing from some of their NFL insiders on whether or not Young comes back to the Bay. He might be the biggest enigma in this free agency class. Young has shown the ability to be a top 10 pass rusher in the NFL, but teams are also eager to see him complete a full, healthy season. Jacksonville is a team that will need a pass rusher if they lose Josh Allen, but re-signing with San Francisco feels like an option as well. I think that this is something that you have to keep your eyes peeled out for. I think that if he plays really well, has a good relationship with Nick Bosa, John Lynch has said we prioritize building in the trenches, especially along that defensive line. They will have some money depending on what they do with Brandon Ayuk, Talanoa Hufanga, and their contract extensions. But that is an edge rushing combination that could be one of the best in the NFL for the foreseeable future. Could be difficult to pass up on. Plus, Chase Young seems to already really be enjoying his time in the Bay because he said, this building is full of winners, and I'm not used to that. Going back to another Niners need, offensive line. And the player that ESPN linked to San Francisco here this offseason is Dolphins offensive guard Robert Hunt. Now, this makes a lot of sense, and it proves to be a talking point here because he's playing in Mike McDaniel's offense. Mike McDaniel, a Kyle Shanahan protege. $3 million salary this year in 2023. His age entering 2024 is 28 years old. And San Francisco at right guard and at right tackle simply has not been good enough this year. And here's ESPN on why Hunt could get paid. 6'6", 322 pounds. He has the movement ability to mirror and win in pass protection, where he has registered a pass block win rate of 89.8% this year. He's a fit for multiple run schemes too, as Hunt can reach and climb as a zone blocker or displace defenders on gap concepts. Kyle Shanahan does a lot of that. Hunt's name has been buzzing in the free agency circle dating back to week 3. He has upped his play in Mike McDaniel's system, emerging as one of the top guards in free agency, and McDaniel's style of offense suits him, using his mobility to block downfield in the running game, and to that point, the Niners could use guard help. You look at Hunt's numbers here in 2023, very solid player this year. You hope that he can continue that and not see his play dip after he gets paid. Overall Pro Football Focus grade of 73.4. That is above league average. Pass blocking grade of 72.9. Run blocking grade of 70.6. He's played 453 total snaps, all of those coming at guard. Pass blocking snaps, 275 of them. What you want to hone in on here, 1 penalty, 1 hit allowed on Tua Tagovailoa. We know that he's a little bit fragile, especially with the head injuries, and only 4 pressures. John Lynch has said, we like to build in the trenches. That's one of the elements that we like to fortify on our football club. John, you've done that with defensive line. You paid Trent Williams. You drafted Aaron Banks in the 2nd round. What have you done at center, right guard, and right tackle? Pretty much nothing. So please address and spend in the trenches in 2024 so that you could keep Brock Purdy upright and not on his back. Be the head coach, be the general manager, be a part of this organization. Where do the Niners need to improve most this upcoming offseason? Hope you enjoyed today's show. As I said, we wanted to inform you, and hopefully we did that. Let's take a peek at the comment section here. What are the people saying? Anthony with the $2 super chat. Defensive line, good. Weak O-line, that could be the end of everything. They can't block up front during these next 4 games for the rest of the year. Going up against a team like Baltimore late, it's going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue. You face a team like Washington, has some good defensive linemen as well. Brock Purdy at the end of that Jags game was running for his life. And not a lot of people focus in on that because the Niners were up so much and they won 34-3. But you play a team like Dallas in the 1st or 2nd round. You play a team like Philadelphia. You play a team like Seattle twice in 3 weeks. They invested along the defensive line. Frank Clark, Leonard Williams. Don't let that be the thing that unglues your season. So we got that $100 super chat a little bit earlier. I did say, hey, $100 donation. We're going to do a little bit of a beer bong out of the Toby Willis helmet here because we are not scared, and I don't live life scared. So let's do it here for Sean, a first-time super chatter who sends in $100 to become a member of the Goldmine Hall of Fame. If anybody else wants to add on top of that, we can. And shout out to Toby Willis for the Niners helmet here. All right. For Sean.
Everyone get the Sean's in the chat and type chug as well.
Here we go, Sean. Here we go.
Chug, 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 chug. Nice.
For Sean. And for Toby. Got some awesome stuff that people have sent us, including Tom Daly sending us some programs. So if anybody wants to send us more stuff that we can use on the show or a super chat giveaways, email me, chase@chatsports.com. Let me know what you got. If we get another $50 super chat, we're bringing out the pocket knife and we're shotgunning a beer. All right, that's what we're doing next if we get a $50 super chat. Let's party, let's get it, and let's talk some Niners. Coming up next here, a look at the Niners playoff picture. Here's our super chat menu if you want to tip the bartender and support the show. All super chats get a shout out. $10 Niner mug cheers. $20 Trace puts on the helmet. $50 for a beer bong or a shotgun. $100 Gold Mine Hall of Fame. And if people want to hang out for a little Niners Report happy hour, Time's looking good. We can do that as well. 16 Bar King is back. Roddy Cal is as well. One of our Super Chat MVPs this year as well. Roddy Cal sent me a photo of his man cave. It is awesome. Now, that includes some of the Super Chat MVP items that he bidded on and he won, but also a Ronnie Lott jersey in there, as you can see in the profile picture. Rick Nyers received the jersey. Awesome, man. Glad you got it. Frank Gore autographed jersey that we sent to the real one, Rick. Little dude, wow, saying R.I.P. Chase's liver. I take care of myself, brother. I take care of myself. No doubt about that. Work hard, play hard. That's what it is. All right. On the tail end of this segment, we're going to look at the Niners playoff picture, odds, playoff path, all that stuff, but we want you to get involved. So on the tail end, we're going to answer your questions and your Super Chats. Use hashtag 49ers or send in a Super Chat to get on the show. And with that, segment number 3 coming up right now. Coming up on today's San Francisco 49ers Report, we're going to take a gander at the Niners playoff picture. And on today's show, we'll take a look at the Niners' chances of making the playoffs with percentage points and betting odds, how San Francisco can move up the standings, and of course, take a look at the NFC playoff standings as well. And we're going to hit on note number 3 here and shift gears to the NFC playoff picture going into this week's action. Philadelphia Eagles, coming off the bye week, do have a tall test in front of them. Super Bowl 57 rematch against the Kansas City Chiefs. They are the number 1 seed at 8-1. Right behind them, though, the Detroit Lions, who kicked that last-second field goal at the expiration of the clock against the Chargers to move to 7-2. Niners ended their 3-game losing streak, sitting pretty right now at 6-3. They own the tiebreaker over the Seattle Seahawks in the NFC West as the leaders in that division. New Orleans Saints 5-5 right now. That is the worst division in football, is the NFC South. So even though they lost last week, still leading the division at an even 5-5. You have the Seattle Seahawks at 6-3, as I noted. Dallas Cowboys all the way in that 6th seed because Philadelphia is leading the NFC with that 8-1 record, best record in the NFL. And then how about the Minnesota Vikings? What a story. Josh Dobbs has come in relief the last 2 games, and he's won them. And the Vikings have won 5 games in a row. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, coming to Levi Stadium on Sunday, have a lot to play for. Still in the hunt at 4-5. Other teams in the mix, Washington and Atlanta at 4-6. With that, we look at the Niners' playoff chances here. The Niners are plus 500 to win the Super Bowl. They have a 16.7% chance of winning and bringing back their 6th Lombardi trophy. Those 5-1 odds, the best odds to win the Super Bowl among all teams in the NFL. San Francisco has a 99% chance of making the playoffs. So if they don't make the playoffs, that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is an unmitigated disaster. San Francisco also minus 550 to win the NFC West. So they are the favorites to win this division. You look at the Niners' schedule here. This is a tough stretch. There's no doubt about it. Winnable game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then a short week on the road against the Seahawks. Thanksgiving night, we'll be back for another watch party. Prime time. Raucous atmosphere, difficult place to play, an opportunity for Seattle fans to get the liver lathered up all throughout the day, stuff the gut with a lot of food. It will be wild and a lot to play for regardless of what happens this week because the division partially on the line at Seattle in Week 12 and then again Week 14, sandwiched in between a rematch of the NFC Championship game against the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 13. You even find a way to go 2-2 here. I think that that's a win. 3-1, you're sitting golden because the last 4 games, 3 of them extremely winnable. You go on the road to take on the Cardinals. You beat them easily earlier this year. Week 16, Ravens have been playing great ball. That's a Monday Night Football matchup. Lamar Jackson's been a little bit off, but the defense is terrific. You go across the country to play a feisty Commanders team, and by Week 18, are the Rams going to mail it in? Potentially. they've really been struggling over the last month and a half. So I think San Francisco has a golden opportunity awaiting them, and like we said, 99% chance of making the playoffs. The competition this week, these are the teams that the Niners really are competing with and against for playoff positioning, and in Seattle's case, to win this division. The Cowboys here, -11 against the Panthers this week. The Lions, -10 at home against the Bears. The 49ers, 11-point favorites against the Bucs. Seahawks lost week 1 against the Rams. Now they are 1-point favorites on the road in Inglewood, California. And then the Philadelphia Eagles, 2-point underdogs against the Chiefs. Philadelphia, the only underdog on this list. So really, a lot of the teams that you're competing with and against, you're not getting a lot of help this week, but we do know crazy things happen across the NFL. Man, I can't talk. Type F Chase in the comment section if you feel that way. Take a guess. What record will the Niners finish with? They are 6-3 right now. I still think 12-13 games is completely plausible, and it's completely doable. Get those record predictions in the comment section right now. Today's 49ers Report is sponsored by Marine Layer. You can get 15% off at marinelayer.com/chatsports. I'm rocking some of their athletic, comfortable leisure wear on today's show. They have golf polos that are really, really nice with that stretchable fabric. They also have some shirts that you can wear out to a date if you're looking to go to a steakhouse or a nice fancy speakeasy. Anything that you want to spice your wardrobe up with, Marine Layer has it. Best news, San Francisco-based company right here. So go to marinelayer.com/chatsports and find your new favorite fits. You've seen me wear this on the show. I like wearing their shorts. You can't see that because you can only see my upper half, but they're awesome, believe me. And I wear these products all the time. Gear for fall, gear for winter, gear for the spring and summer. They have it all. See for yourself, marinelayer.com/chatsports. Now to your questions. Love hearing from the faithful every single week. Sean, a $100 super chat. You're a legend, my guy. I love your honest analysis. Thank you. He has concerns on the offensive line. People are saying the Niners are back. I'm not sure. I think they caught the Jaguars off guard. Your thoughts on the next 4 games? So, thoughts on the next 4 games. I kind of alluded to that a little bit earlier during the playoff picture. Facing Seattle 2 times in 3 weeks, that's really difficult. Are the Niners the more talented team? No doubt about it. But Seattle has always posed a tall test for San Francisco. I mean, Pete Carroll owned Jim Harbaugh. He owned Kyle Shanahan up until last year when the Niners got the monkey off their back and they were able to pull off the trifecta sweep against Seattle. But 2 times in 3 weeks against a familiar opponent that always has a good understanding of what you want to do and what you like to do, that is not easy. I've continued to say it all year, Sean. Offensive line is an issue. Said it in the preseason. That can derail your season, and right now, it very well could. I do think that Jaguars victory, though, I'll disagree with you there. That showed us the Niners team that San Francisco is capable of being, and the Niners team that we saw in the first 5 weeks of the year when they got off to that 5-0 start. Anthony, $2 super chat. The defensive line is good. Weak offensive line could be the end of everything. And I don't think that people are hitting the panic button by being concerned about the offensive line. Look, when Kyle Shanahan had a tight end blocking Hassan Reddick, that ended the Niners' hopes of making it to the Super Bowl. Bad offensive line play can end your hopes of trying to win a championship, because if you can't pass protect and you can't block in the run game and you can't do anything offensively, or you're going up against a really good team, you have to come back, which the Niners have proven to struggle with doing so far this year, and you're unable to come back because you can't block up front, that could be the glue that unglues you. Mr. Block Ice checking in here. If you know the history of Baker Mayfield and Bosa, now Chase, Baker in Oklahoma beat the Ohio State and planted the Oklahoma flag on the Ohio State field. Both played that game. I didn't forget, Baker is done. So is Oklahoma, not Oklahoma State. I can see why casual college football fans would get that wrong. But you know what's interesting, Mr. Black Ice, is that Nick Bosa said that he buried the hatch from 2019. Or from, what was that, 2018? Yeah, Bosa was drafted in 2019. He said he buried the hatch, and he said that he has no beef with Baker Mayfield any longer. But that's not going to stop Nick Bosa from trying to up his sack totals after a slow start to the year. I'll tell you that. Drippy Sports, do you think a Xavier Howard trade will benefit the Niners? Would not happen until after this year. I think bringing in another solid corner would obviously do you well. We'll see what happens with Ambry Thomas. Hopefully Kyle Shanahan, Steve Wilks, they decide to go with Ambry Thomas on the outside, with Deommodore Lenoir in the slot, with Mooney Ward on the outside as well. That is an affordable, and it's a secondary that I think is good enough if your pass rush is getting home. The problem with Xavier Howard, he's extremely expensive. Jonathan Lamont Page, do you think that we will get creative with larger wide receivers as far as a coverage standpoint? Ward is a problem with his hands. Thoughts? That is a little bit of an issue, Jonathan Lamont Page, and appreciate you for the shout-outs on Twitter when you gave us a shout-out for surpassing 100,000 subscribers last week. The Bucs do have larger wide receivers as far as height with a guy like Mike Evans, but Chris Godwin is also a very physical wide receiver. And the Niners have struggled with coming down with some of those 50-50 balls. Honestly, this is a matchup where maybe it serves you well to keep Deommodore Lenoir on the inside because he's a little bit shorter, and you go with Ambry Thomas on that outside. I think that you can mirror the safety over to one side, whether it's Hufanga or Gibson, to limit some of those big plays and those 50-50 balls, because if that wide receiver knows in the back of their head that Hufanga is coming for a big stick, they might think otherwise. Matt Keller, do you think the defensive line finally found their rhythm and can keep it going? Also, I like seeing Randy Gregory rotated in more. What I liked was Randy Gregory and Chase Young lining up on the interior. D'Amico Ryans and Robert Saleh did that a lot. That's what we deemed the NASCAR package for San Francisco, when they would have their edge rushers, like Bosa, on the perimeter, Samson Ebukam out there, but then they would experiment with a Jordan Willis, a Arden Key, a Charles Omenihu playing defensive tackle. And what that allows you and what that gives the defense is an edge. Faster players going up against slower offensive linemen, and they're able to beat them at the point of attack. And you don't have to do those stunts. You can just beat them with quickness. Or you want to run some of those stunts on the interior. You do have that speed element there on top of having Nick Bosa and Chase Young on the outside. So there were a couple of wrinkles that I really liked in that Jacksonville game. Less of those twists and stunts, more of just trying to win your matchups at the point of attack. 5-man fronts, something else that I really, really liked. Pop Chase Young onto the interior. See what he's able to do. Just give the offense different looks. And with that, I thought the defensive line found their rhythm, and hopefully that continues. Val Brooks, our pretty lady here on the Niners Report. Am I the only one worried about Jake Moody? I'm still worried about Jake Moody. There's no doubt about that. In a pressure situation, a Jake Moody miss could be the difference between moving on in a playoff game, winning a game down the stretch, your season ending, or your season continuing. And what I never understood, one, drafting a kicker in the third round. Two, with a Super Bowl contending team, you're moving on from Robbie Gould when he's been automatic and he's literally never missed in the playoffs. So if a clutch kick is a scenario that comes to reality in a clutch situation, and we're in the playoffs and Jake Moody is trotting out to win the game, Niner fans everywhere are going to be losing it, and I'm going to be going down to one knee, and I'm going to be praying to the football gods that Jake Moody does not miss it. Thanks to everybody who sent in questions as well as your super chats. You're all real ones. Don't forget to subscribe, and we hope to see you on Sunday against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for our watch party. Let's go. Tom Daly, Chase, need the mailing address for Chat Sports to send in the Niner flag donation. My man, it's actually the same email address that I sent you already. So, Tom, let me know if you still have that, and just send it to that address. Yeah, it's where you sent that package with the programs, including the Playboy mags. Matt Keller, Jake Moody gives me crippling anxiety. He gives me anxiety just in the regular season here. Tom Daly, don't have it. All right, I'll send it to you, Tom.
I got a question. So, Hero Crew put this out there. It said Moses Moody could be the better kicker than Jake. I'm an Arkansas guy. Moses Moody, Arkansas basketball legend. Who's the better Moody in the Bay? Moses Moody or Jake Moody? Curious. Who's the better Moody in the Bay? Moses or Jake? Rick Nyer says Moses. I agree. Whatever happened to Zane? Jerky Sports says
Zane Gonzalez? I don't think he's with the team right now.
Seen a lot of Moses Moody's over Jake Moody's. I agree. Woo pig.
Wet Noodle, Chase, 4 days until game day. I'm pumped up. Wet Noodle, you're going to be there. And then you're our Pacific Northwest Niners representative here on the Niners Report. Seattle, Thursday night, Thanksgiving.
That's going to be such a fun game, dude.
It's going to be an awesome game.
It's going to be so fun.
Yeah, that might be an hour-and-a-half pregame show on Thanksgiving. I'm not sure which producer is with me. If it's Trace, is it you? Because Chip's going home, right?
Because Chip's a slacker. Chip doesn't like work.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Chip doesn't grind like us.
Nah, he doesn't like to work on holidays. He's a slacker.
To Chip's credit, he's been pulling a lot of double shifts this week.
He has.
My man's been putting in a lot of hours.
It's been like this whole month, dude.
Yeah. I give him credit.
He's been on the grind, dude.
Yeah, he's been on the grind.
Got to show love to producers.
All right, Niners Report Happy Hour. It's coming up right now. It is not often that we can do this with how busy we are right now during football season. Let's do it, though. As long as Super Chats come in, we're going to continue to hang out with everybody. So the Super Chat shot clock is activated. Whoever sends in a Super Chat within 2 minutes, we reset the shot clock.
Reset it!
16 Bar King. 10 seconds in, 16 Bar King sends in the 10. Went out of town on Biz. Touchdown to play. Going back to Cali Frying. Tampa in the Bay. That's a bar right there. From the man, 16 Bar King. 16 Bar King. 16 Bar King. Ricky Woodward, hello, just chiming in and asking, can anyone confirm or deny chatter regarding Jason Verrett? We have a graphic. We talked about Jason Verrett a little bit earlier.
Whoa.
He did work out for San Francisco today. He was let go by the Texans on their practice squad, and he's available to sign with San Francisco if the Niners were impressed with that workout and they want to sign him to a deal. So they did work out Verrett today, and he was recently let go by the Texans practice squad. 32 years old, trying to come back after missing all of the last 2 years. He got hurt week 1 of 2021, and then before the season, or when he was coming back from the ACL and Achilles, back-to-back years, signed with the Niners originally in 2019, played 13 games in 2020. So we reset the Super Chat shot clock. We're at 114 and counting right now after 16 Bar King sent in that 10. We get a 50. I'm shotgunning a beer. I have one here to my left.
Let's go. And then if we get a second 50, I'm in a shotgun a beer.
I'm piercing it with a pocket knife if we get a 50.
Pierce that can. Pierce that can.
Keep us live. Keep us live. Keep us live. Matt Keller, he said reset it now.
Reset.
Yes, master.
Aye, Captain. Aye, Captain.
Aye, Captain. Chase, where is Niners Buccaneers preview? So, Lore, I'm going to go on Larry Krueger's show tomorrow. I imagine we're going to talk about that. And if we do, we'll put up some thoughts for Niners Bucks on the channel here. Roddy Cal, sup, Trizzy? About time you show up, bro.
Dude, like I said earlier, I've been stuck on the Seahawks channel. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? They put me on the Seahawks channel. Unbelievable. I'm a Niners guy through and through when it comes to the live shows. Come on now. Matt Keller now hit the Javon Hargrave Selly LMAO. That's so good. That's so good. Guys, y'all have any more questions? Use hashtag 49ers. We'll still take some of y'all's questions. But Super Chats will keep us live. That's how these things go. That's how these things go.
Yeah, where's the Super Chat shot clock here? We're at 109.
Keep us live.
Tom Daly, bottom line, our overall health level is going to dictate our overall wins and losses. Yeah, that could do it. Christian Burton! When will the Goldmine Hall of Fame end credit be ready? Yeah, so I mentioned this the other day. Some people here at Chat Sports have done the poster thing, and they're all ripped up. They don't last long. And then when we try to send them away, they get ruined. That's what some of the viewers have said. So we're going to work on that. No timeline for it, but it'll be ready at some point there, Christian. It'll be ready at some point. David Marcella, real heel. Niners going nowhere. Uh-oh, hater in the chat.
Ruh-roh.
Hater in the chat. David Marcella likes to stir things up a little bit.
Wet Noodle's asking, how real are the Seahawks fans? They're so unreal.
The 12s are the zeros.
They don't even do real one roll calls.
Mecca boy, you're awesome, man. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Yeah, reset the Super Chat shot clock here. Here we go. Niners report happy hour. We move on.
I just love Wet Noodle asking about how real the Seahawks fans were.
Cheers.
As if they even existed. Like, there's no Seahawks fans.
Lore, Boo Sea Chicken going to eat on Thanksgiving. Hell yeah.
If you ain't eating Seahawks on Thanksgiving Day, you ain't a real Niners fan. It can be a turkey, you can just call it a Seahawk.
Niner Babe said haters gonna hate. Hell yeah, Niner Babe. Niner Babe, I think we missed you last week for the watch party.
Shout out Niner Babe.
Where were you?
Shout out Niner Babe. Shout out Val. We love our Niner Babes.
Yeah, we love our Niner Babes.
Ain't nothing finer than a 49er.
We look at the analytics all the time. There are so many dudes who watch YouTube. So when we get the ladies in here, it's awesome. We appreciate you for watching.
We love a good sausage fest, but the ladies make this world go round.
Niner Babe was at her parents' house. Okay. You couldn't subject them to the craziness that happens here?
David said they're going 8-10. Didn't know it's 19 weeks.
David said, oh, here it is. Yeah, 17 game schedule there, David.
Gotcha, David.
Resetting the Super Chat shot clock again. Matty Kells with the deuce.
Stephen Fox wants to know if there's a number to call in and get on the show or a link.
No, but I want to do that at some point.
Yeah, the call-in thing was fun.
The call-in thing was fun. There are ways, like I see other content creators having call-in shows. I'd like to do that, no doubt.
Made for some good content.
Made for some good content.
Shout out
people are
Izzy,
fired up. People are emotional. People are ripping me. People are praising me. People are ripping the Niners. People are praising the Niners. It was awesome.
Big time call-in fan.
Wet Noodle.
Wet Noodle and what's his name?
Words of Wisdom.
Words of Wisdom. Yeah. Words of Wisdom was a big call-in guy.
Tom Daly misses the call-in.
I missed the call.
David Marcel. That's a creative comment. He said, "Oops, I added a ghost loss."
Good one.
That's a good one, David.
That's a good one. Keep us live. Don't make us go do real work. We don't want to do real work. This to us is our job, but it's fun, so it's not work.
Keep us live. Keep us live. Keep us live. Keep us live. 110 on the Super Chat shot clock. 50 beer bong or a shotgun. $500 Super Chat. Trace and I become blood brothers.
Meow.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
500.
Unless
if it's a $500 Venmo, different story.
That would be wild. What? That's when people like cut themselves and then they like they go
cut your hand right here and then you
shake hands. That's crazy, man. I can't do that.
We're gonna go in our Wyatt Earp Doc Holliday ish.
I can't do it.
It's gonna be great.
Man. That would be wild.
He's my daughter. Wyatt Earp was my friend. Hell, Doc, I have a lot of friends. I don't.
I don't feel so good. Trace, I don't feel so good either. Boss, why? We cut ourselves live.
I don't know.
All right. 10 seconds left on the Super Chat shot clock, and then we'll give you about a 20-second delay. If not, we're out of here.
10,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll give you about a 20-second delay. If not, we're going back to work.
And we're staying.
Tom Daly, 2. Okay, but drink something. I got you, Tom. Cheers to Tom. Program Tom, Mr. Program.
Here's the thing. If we can get a 10, I'm gonna have a Niner chug. Or a Niner mug, cheers, whatever.
If we get to 150, I'll shotgun. We're at 123.
Ooh.
150, I'll shotgun. So we are 27 away.
$27 Super Chat.
Kane Angel, I missed the party. Kane, where were you?
No.
Drippy Sports. I think the issue is with Moody is that his face is squished, so he has trouble seeing the goalpost. That's a good comedy line right there.
Good chirp. Great chirp. Great chirp.
Resetting the Super Chat. Shat clack.
Shit click.
Taco 1 saying, Deebo. Whoa. Deebo. Whoa. Alex Salinas. Moody has a strong leg, just not accurate. Yeah, he's hella strong with the leg.
Got a boot.
He's got a boot. But even at Michigan, he did have accuracy issues. Now, he did hit some clutch kicks. He hit some long kicks. But he was kind of inaccurate. Drippy Sports, Brandon Ayuk. Woo!
Whoa. Brandon Ayuk.
How can we even make that work?
I mean, let's go Brandon is the easiest one.
Yeah, let's go Brandon.
Let's go Brandon Ayuk, of course.
Brandon Ayuk. Make Stevie say Fook. 110
so
on the Super Chat shot clock.
Keep
we
us
get to
live.
150. I'm shotgunning.
Keep us live!
I'm shotgunning.
You can see it behind
I'm
us.
shotgunning.
It's dark outside. We want to
Make me do it. Make me do it. Make me do
Make
it.
him just boop, drop the knife.
David Marcella, didn't Moody kick a 58-yarder last week? Wasn't 58 yards. Was it 58?
Was it 58?
Let's see. It was long. It was a long boy. Let's see.
Deebo. Whoa.
No, it wasn't 50. It wasn't deep. He went 2 of 2 from 30 to 39. This year, he's 2 of 3 on 50 plus. A long of 57. Oh! Lyle with the 20 and Steven with the 10. Lyle. Hey, Chase, who are the 2024 free agents for the Niners? We looked at targets earlier. Now let's look at free agents. It's a good question there, Lyle. Man Cave Lyle, the real ones know. All right. Chase Young, Sam Darnold, Javon Kinlaw, Deshaun Gibson, Oren Burks, Cleveland Ferrell, John Feliciano, Kevin Givens, Ray McLeod, Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles, Ross Dwelly, Brandon Allen, Matt Pryor, Jawan Jennings, Charlie Warner, and Terrence Mitchell. Those are the free agents. Steven Sierra. Oh! All right. Shotty coming up for the homies. I knew we were going to get there. Lyle. Missed you, man.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Or as Z40 would say, bang, bang, Niner gang. Bang, bang, Niner gang.
Rip it, tip it, sip it.
Chug, 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 chug. Nice. Then nice. Great success.
Very nice. How much?
How much? Very nice. I like. Are you my friend? Chase, are you my boyfriend? Will you be my boyfriend? Name the movie.
Nice.
Wow, that was a barefoot burp right there.
Real ones know.
Yep. All right, we're going to sign off. Awesome show today. Had a lot of fun. Thanks to everybody for hanging out here with us. A Thursday Niners Report Live. We are back on Sunday, Niners Bucks watch party. I'll be live on the Krug show tomorrow. Hoping to potentially get some clips from his show to put on my channel for the first time. We've gotten a lot of really good feedback for the appearances that I've been doing over there. So plenty of content to get to. Maya's World. What's up, Chase Senior? What's up, Maya? Maya. Maya. See you on the Krug show tomorrow, Chase. Bang, bang. Alex Salinas, that's a real one. Following me wherever I go. I appreciate it. For Trace, I appreciate him. I'm Chase. I appreciate you. We're out. See ya.